What's going on, everybody? I am super excited. I see someone with a bunch of celery in front of me.
Why are you in my kitchen?
Why are we in your kitchen? That's a good question.
Oh God, this is so embarrassing. Go ahead.
Have you ever done a show from your kitchen before?
No, I've never. In fact, these whole lives things stress me out. And I'm just sitting here trying to cook, and then this guy pops up on live on the internet.
This is going to be fun. Everyone loves these. Cooking and conversation. Heather Parady is our special guest today.
Hello.
Heather, how are you?
Hi.
Heather's so much fun. She's one of my favorite people. We've talked we've talked a lot in the last couple of weeks.
47 times in about 10 days, y'all.
Exact count.
What are we doing?
Awesome. We are I don't really know quite yet. I don't know what we're making. I know you have a lot of vegetables. I know you have a lot going on. You have a lot of family running in and out of the kitchen as we were getting ready.
Sorry. And a cat.
No, don't be. We love family and pets. You'll hear my puppy. He'll probably bark halfway through this a couple of times.
It's not
that's
pets
life
anymore. It's not plural because hamster Lou died last week, and you just brought it up, and my heart is now hurting.
I'm sorry. Hamster. I'm sure he's running on that hamster wheel in heaven.
He was so old. Like I was every day we went and looked at his cage. Well, this was a mini hamster, and they last about 2 years. Well, that's what the PetSmart. PetSmart people are into animals because when we got Hampy Lou, this girl come over and she had, just like decked out with animal stuff, and she's just like giving us the lay down, and she's like, "This is gonna last 2 years, and you better let it, live to be that long. This is all the stuff you got to do." So I was sweating. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I hope it doesn't die before 2 years." And I'm a hamster murderer. I thought there was a kid beside me. But hamster Lou lasted 2 years and like 3 months. So we are good at keeping hamsters alive in this house.
That's a good lifespan. I didn't know. I had no idea about hamsters and how long they lived. I've never had a hamster. My sisters had hamsters, but not me. But that's good.
I bet you are so glad you talked to me today.
He had a good long life, hamster Lou.
It's a good hamster.
There's nothing to be upset. So what you have a lot of celery in front of you. That is like a lot of celery.
Is this intimidating? Like, you better be nice to me or I'll break your leg.
I mean, I'm sure the people listening to the podcast version, they hear that crunching. It's they don't know what's going on.
Listen, we said we were going to cook together, and all I thought was like, yes. Oh my goodness, I need to get all of these vegetables prepped because this family eats some vegetables, but that means you got to cut a bunch of crap.
That's good. The funny thing is, Heather and I got on the line. We were doing some podcasts over the past couple of weeks together, and we started talking about food, and she was like, "I love food. I love eating." And I'm like, "Do I have the show for you?" So that's why she got invited. I don't invite everyone to be on this show. Like, it's easier to get on my other show. This show's pretty exclusive.
That makes me feel good. Even though I'm not the best cook in the world, I'm impatient. That's one thing I learned about cooks is one time I burned something again, and I was like, why do I keep burning crap? And then it hit me. I was like, because you have to be patient. Because what I do is I turn up. I love all those numbers on that stove. You know what I mean? Like the higher that number, the hotter it gets. So it cooks faster in my mind, right? But it doesn't work like that because then it burns. And so I have a patience problem, which makes cooking a little bit difficult.
Yes. Patience is necessary. Now, I will say patience is much higher and much more needed in baking. So do you like to bake?
I like eating the product of bakers.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I'm the same way. I'll eat it. But hey, Carrie, what's going on? Carrie says hi.
What up, Carrie?
Yes, you did. She was on the podcast that we recorded a while ago. Carrie's awesome.
Is Carrie a good cook?
Carrie is into non-alcoholic beverages, like really fancy non-alcoholic beverages, like seltzers and different flavors. She's really good there.
That's kind of cool. Does she have a cookbook? Because I need to learn.
We can check out her website.
I got a seltzer water in a can.
That's cool. I'm drinking the same thing. I have a
flavor?
Cucumber lime.
You're fancy. I'm just Kroger lime.
Lime's good.
Okay.
Carrie says that your accent is adorable, and she doesn't have a cookbook yet.
Thank you, Carrie.
She stressed the word "yet."
Amen, sister. We could kick it.
Yes.
I like that
So
optimism.
for those of you listening on the podcast, as you know, we live stream these. So that's why we're talking to people who comment. You're welcome to join us either on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. You can go and connect with me there, and you'll be able to join us on all of the fun that we're having and see everything that's going on. What Heather, as she chops her celery. Now, the only thing I can think of as you funnily yet angrily chop your celery is I'm thinking of like, man, that makes me want a Bloody Mary.
Oh, I've never had a Bloody Mary.
You've
ever.
never had a really?
No, that name stresses me out. A Bloody Mary? No, I'm not about that.
You've clearly never had one, because if you have, you'd be able to get over the name.
Isn't it like tomato juice or something?
It is. Do you like
tomato juice? I hate tomato juice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It makes me think of old people.
No, Bloody Marys are delicious. Do you like spicy food?
Yes, I like food.
Well, Bloody Marys, they have a little kick, a little spice. I'm sure Carrie has a great recipe for a Bloody Mary. She said a virgin one she typed in here. Carrie, if you have a great recipe for a Bloody Mary, yes, spicy. If you have a great recipe for a Bloody Mary, send it my way. We'll have to have you on one of these shows, and we'll make that Bloody Mary, and maybe Heather can watch and make it with us. We can all three do one together, and you can taste your first Bloody Mary.
That sounds
I'm throwing that out there right now.
What up, Carrie?
Nice, spicy. That's the thing about Bloody Marys. It's like, it's a drink that's it's got a lot of body to it. Like, it's got like some Tabasco and Worcestershire.
Okay. No, see, this is why the cooking thing stresses me out. Because you cooking people, y'all use all these words I don't understand. A drink has a body.
Yeah, it has body to it.
What does that mean?
It's not like like water doesn't have much body. It just goes with that. Like a Bloody Mary is like coats your palate.
Water helps your body?
It does help your body. You should drink water, but Bloody Mary like coats your palate. It's like it's got
there you go again.
Flavor.
Coats your palate. What does that even mean? I don't know what that means.
It's like when you drink it, you can feel it. It's not just like a liquid. It's like a little bit thicker. You can taste it. It's got a lot to it.
I just need to be educated. Where do you go get educated on this?
A Bloody Mary isn't something that I would sit and have like 8 of them. Some people can. Even if it's virgin, I would not do that. I'd have like 2 and really enjoy them, and then I'd have like a beer or a tonic.
So, could you have 8 beers?
If it's a hot day.
See, I think beer is the most disgusting tasting thing in the world.
Really? I think it's refreshing.
Really? No, I don't like it. It's not. It's like well, I'm not going to say that because I'm in the middle of food around here. It's something liquidy that comes out of your body that's not good.
Carrie makes a really good point. She said a Bloody Mary. Now, this would be up your alley. A Bloody Mary is something that can almost be like a salad. So it's great when you serve it with pickles, olives, okra, things like that.
Okay, now look at this. I got excited. I'm waving the celery in your face.
Yes.
Okra and Southern people, we get along.
I love some okra.
Fried okra, yo.
Oh yeah. Do you make fried okra?
I eat fried okra. Yeah, of course, and make it. That's just like real life, man. I mean, I know it's not. Listen, I don't want you guys to be lied to. The reason I'm cutting up vegetables and stuff is we eat a lot of healthy food to make up for all the bad food we eat, because that is real and alive, including fried okra, fried anything. Shoot. It's
balance, right?
That's what it is. That is what it is. My husband doesn't necessarily agree with me. He's way healthier than I am, but I'm all about that balance.
Your husband's he's a fitness guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't that way when we got married. He turned into one.
You turned him into a fitness guy?
That's not what happened. Let me tell you I got my knife again.
Don't talk with your knife, please.
I can't help it. I get so excited. So let me tell you a little story. So we're dating, right? Mm-hmm. And he's still healthy at that point. Not to the extent he is, but we're going to watch a movie. And so I get some Oreos, you know what I mean? Because like, why?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Well, I had this thought that crossed my mind. I was like, okay, I'm going to get these Oreos and we're going to watch this movie. And if he doesn't eat these Oreos, I'm going to break up with him. I literally had that thought. You gave
him a private ultimatum. Hey, I got to do a quick shout out to Angela, because Angela Yapano just said hello. And I want to give her some cred because she's watching in Manila right now and it's 4:42 a.m. there. So I just wanted to make sure that we said hey to Angela, because that's impressive.
Good morning. Get some coffee, Angela.
some coffee and celery. Anyway, so you had these cookies, these Oreos, and if he doesn't eat them, he's getting dumped.
Well, because I was like, I don't want to be with somebody who you can't eat a bag of Oreos with. Like, that's
Yeah.
not a healthy life. You think about long-term happiness, you don't want to be with
Yeah.
somebody like that. Luckily, he ate a sleeve. We got married.
So you're like, if you don't eat one, we're breaking up. If you eat the sleeve,
We're getting married.
I do.
Pretty much.
I like the way you think. That sounds like a reasonable rationale to me.
Exactly. Because it's like I can appreciate being health conscious, but not to the point where you can't like hang out on the weekend and eat ice cream and pizza and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. On the weekend? Why do you just save it for the weekend?
Because I'm over 30 and I've got to be careful. That's why.
Fair enough. Hello, Heather. Angela just said hello to you specifically.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Probably pouring her coffee right now.
Oh man, I want some coffee.
Now, to me, 4:42 a.m. is still the middle of the night, but that's just me.
Nope, I get up to that early. That's when you can get stuff done.
I like to work at night. I work late at night. I'll work at midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, and then I'll go to bed, and I'll get up at like 8 o'clock.
I'm on my third dream by the time you're going to bed.
I'm on my third dream when you're waking up.
Literally, man.
Hey, whatever works though, right? That's the life of an entrepreneur. You got to figure it out. I tried it. I did a whole stretch where I got up at 5, did the 5 a.m. club. I did it for 90 days. Didn't like it. Did the 6 a.m. club. Did it for 90 days. Didn't like it. Did the 7 a.m. club. Did that for 90 days. I was like, man, I spent a whole year and I still don't like it. Then I found out around 8 o'clock, I'm good. I feel good.
You need to start a trend and be the like 1 a.m. club. Yeah, that's when you're going to bed. That's when you're going to bed.
I could do that. I tell my girlfriend all the time. I said, look, because she's a real early riser. I said, I can pull an all-nighter, no problem, anytime. But you want me to get up at 4? That's hard.
Yeah.
Really hard.
I just have a theory that the stuff that most people won't do gets done before most people wake up. That's kind of my theory, because like stuff like journaling and meditation, working out, all the stuff that we never have time for, if you don't get that done before people are waking up and dinging you, it's very, very hard to fit it in for the rest of the day.
Angela just said the pandemic ruined our biological clock.
Freaking pandemic.
I think she has a point. I will agree with that.
She's right.
It's been difficult during the pandemic to kind of balance that out. But what I do is, and I get your point is very, very valid about getting up and doing things early. What I find is I do a lot of those things late at night because everyone else is sleeping. So I can just kind of, and I feel like I ride the momentum of the day then.
Yeah.
So whatever I accomplished, and I get to unwind at the same time, because doing that admin stuff to me is kind of like relaxing because I actually enjoy it. Yeah. I enjoy doing work. I enjoy what I love what I do.
I'm waving my knife again.
I love what I do. I actually choose to do the work.
I love what I do.
I love it.
Like, don't you need okay, I love what I do too, but I need 30 minutes of completely like not work stuff, at least before I go to bed.
Let me go through this.
No, I'm
1 o'clock, I pack everything up. Sometimes I'll watch a YouTube video before I do that. That's more like relaxing. But then I go in my room, I read my Bible for about 15 minutes. Then I read another book for about 15 minutes, and then I go to sleep.
I feel guilty.
Then I get up in the morning. I set 2 alarms. I set one, and usually I get up right before my alarm, but I set one for 8 and one for 8:15. I get up at 8, but I don't get out of bed. And I lay in bed for 15 minutes, and I pray and meditate. Then I get up at 8:15 and I start my day. That's my thing. I always end the day and start the day with God. That's something I'm very cognizant of.
Oh my God, I'm a terrible person. I end my day every day with Michael Scott. That's how I end my day.
Michael Scott is very relaxing, and that's okay. I'm not saying you have to do what I do. That's just how I like to do things.
I don't judge. Jesus to love me too, though.
What?
I just want Jesus to love me too.
Jesus loves everybody all the time. You don't have to work for Jesus'
serial killers.
He loves you.
Mean people and people who watch Michael Scott before bed and don't read the Bible. All of us.
Everyone. Jesus loves everyone. You just have to let him love you.
God, we're getting deep.
Yeah. But
Jesus loves you.
He does. I'm very passionate about that.
That's yeah. That's
I mean,
good.
because when you think about, and I'll be dead serious about this. When I came to the realization that God really does love me, and no matter what I do, He always will, and I'll never be without love because of that, it changed my life.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to, like, if someone doesn't approve of me, that's okay. God still loves me.
That's not what we learn in the church house, though. Jesus loves you if you sign up for our potluck.
If you sign up for our potluck, that's still pretty easy too. I mean, that's not asking a lot, right?
Yeah, I like going to potlucks.
What do you take to a potluck?
Well, it depends on the people that are going to be there, but I love bringing like different dips and
Mm,
stuff. So I love like pita chips and veggies with different dips and stuff.
hmm
Um, Anything with cheese. I've talked to you about that before. Um, I used to make tiramisu. I love
Oh, I
tiramisu.
love tiramisu.
Dude, that's next level.
I have a great tiramisu recipe I'll share with you in the fall. It's a pumpkin tiramisu.
Okay.
It is delightful.
Speaking of Jesus,
So yeah, I think Jesus had a lot to
pumpkin
do with that.
tiramisu.
Yeah,
Amen.
he's
Amen.
very inspired. Deb, what's going on? Deb from Cincinnati says hello.
Deb, what up, Deb? I did a
Deb's on
dance
all of
just for
our.
you.
She shows up to everything. She's on all of our live streams. Deb's good people. She has a great podcast too, by the way. The Drop In CEO podcast, so you can check that
Oh,
out.
I know her. She's
Yeah.
I connected with her on LinkedIn. I had a LinkedIn show um, about a year ago. I interviewed someone on LinkedIn every single day for 100 episodes, and it
You
was
are.
just 10
That's
minute
dedication.
10-minute interview. Okay, go ahead and take that. Yeah, that's how I met Deb. Like it was the first time I ever met her. We jumped on a LinkedIn together.
What happened to the LinkedIn show? Did you only plan for it to be 100 episodes?
I planned for it to be a couple. This is what happened. This is Heather's brain. I go upstairs and I'm doing something, and I think you need to be on LinkedIn more. And then I think, well, I hate LinkedIn. And then I think, well, Gary Vee says to get on LinkedIn. So then I'm like, okay, well, Gary Vee also says do what you're good at, and I'm good at talking. So I go downstairs and I type in on LinkedIn, hey, no, I didn't even do that. I made a video. I literally, this is 5 minute span. Hey guys, I'm going to be doing a LinkedIn video series. If you want me to interview you, send me a DM. I had insane amount of people like just drop into my DM box. And so I just started interviewing them, and it was going to be like one a week, and it immediately went to daily.
Mm.
About
Was it
100
live or
episodes
was it?
after.
Would you record them and then?
This was before LinkedIn Live. It was pre-recorded. I edited it, did show notes for it. I mean, it was pretty much like
Man.
it was next level.
What do you have there? Zucchini? Or is that a cucumber?
Cucumber.
Cucumber.
Okay, this is an important conversation to have. Do
Yes.
you peel the cucumber or do you not peel the cucumber?
It depends. I personally like peeled cucumbers. I'm a peeler, but I'll eat them if they're not peeled.
You would.
So,
Yeah, I knew
yeah.
you were that top.
So the way we did it in the restaurant is we would peel them, then we would cut them from top to bottom lengthwise, then we would scoop out all the seeds, and then we would cut them into like little half moons. That's how we serve them in the restaurant.
You're too fancy
But
for
I don't
me.
do that at home. At home, I'll just do a quick peel, do a slice, and just eat it. I love
Go.
cucumbers. They're so refreshing.
Mm-hmm. So, do you like salsa?
I love salsa. Yes.
Salsa's my jam, dude.
Yeah.
I did like that's what I love. I love chips and salsa. I could eat that every day.
Do you make your own salsa though?
Yeah. Well, Brian does. He uses cilantro and all that crap.
Oh yeah, I love cilantro.
Garlic, all that. It's really, really good. But I love cutting up cucumbers and eating it in salsa. It's so good.
You missed a spot. I'm just kidding.
I feel so judged.
So good. We love cucumbers. Now, I
just realized you're a chef and I'm cutting things in front of you. You're probably like deep down dying inside.
I'm not that
off
kind
what
of
I'm
chef.
doing. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I know there was this girl on TikTok who got upset because you didn't put your pointer finger over something.
No, that's not how you hold it. How you should hold the knife is
That's what she said.
You should pinch. Okay, Michael Scott. You should pinch it right above the handle so you can control the blade better. Yes.
That is what she said.
Yes.
You're right. You're right.
Of course I'm right.
I just completely
I'm a trained professional. What do you expect?
You are. You are.
But I saw an interesting post the other
So,
day.
like,
speaking
am
of
I doing
cucumbers.
this right?
Close, yeah. Just watch your other hand. Watch your fingers. You should be very careful.
This is too complicated. This is making me nervous.
You don't like being watched as you cut vegetables.
Yeah, especially like live everywhere.
Yeah, so I saw a post the other day, and I can't remember who posted it, so I'm not going to try to guess. But it made me laugh because it said, everyone's cool with peeling cucumbers, but you try to peel a pickle and everyone loses their mind. I was like, that's true. I've never seen anyone peel a pickle.
That is the most like chef kind of humor I've ever heard in my life.
You laughed, though. It was funny.
It was good.
Because you can imagine, like, someone peeling a pickle. Like, what are you doing? Do you like pickles?
Yes.
Pickles
I'm
go great on Bloody
Southern.
Marys.
What is up with you and a Bloody Mary? Are you having cravings or something?
I guess. You shared the celery, and that's right where my mind went. Do you like sweet pickles or dill pickles?
You just cussed. No. Sweet.
No what?
Those should not even be in the same sentence. Sweet and pickle.
But they both exist. So which one?
But they shouldn't exist. Sweet pickles are an abomination. Can I be more dramatic?
No, but it's fine.
Seriously, it's so disgusting. Dill all the way. All the way.
I don't dislike any pickle. I will eat them either way, but I prefer dill. I was doing consulting for a restaurant, for a barbecue joint, and we made a burger with brisket and all kinds of different things, and then we made homemade sweet pickles. Man, were they good. I just have to say.
How do you make a sweet pickle? Like, can we just talk about that? Like, you just dip it in sugar for a long time?
No, it's in the brine. It's a different type of brine, because a pickle is a cucumber. Well, you can pickle anything, really, but...
This is a disgusting conversation.
Baby cucumbers, and they're pickled. Get your mind out of the
okay. That's a word I don't like. Is pickled. What a terrible word.
Why? Now, I was with you on the other words you don't like, but pickled I don't think is a terrible word.
I just decided I don't like it because you were saying it over and over again. I was like, I don't like that word.
You're never going to look at pickles the same way again.
Ever.
Okay, so we cut. What did we do so far? We cut celery, we cut cucumbers, we cut green peppers.
There's so much. Okay, here I'll show you everything that there is.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's look at whoa.
There's all that, and then there's all that.
Oh man, you got some good-looking tomatoes. Do you grow your own tomatoes?
Well, we have a garden that Brian just started, so it's coming up. But no, those are Aldi's grown fresh.
Nice.
Yep.
Aldi has some nice stuff.
Aldi's is a way to eat very, very cheap when you eat, like, you eat a lot of produce and all that stuff. So
yeah, I'm a Costco fan too. I like Costco. I go to Costco.
Never been.
Never
been.
There's a lot of things you haven't done that we need to get done.
I was homeschooled and grew up in Arkansas, so I've just had a very hard life.
What does that have to do with going to Costco?
A lot. I blame it on my homeschooled education and my Arkansasness.
So what do you think? What is like the go-to place? If you're going out to eat, you and your husband are going on a date night, you're going out to eat, where do you go?
Cold Stone.
What are you ordering at Cold Stone?
Everything. No, I'm just joking. I am one of the most unpicky people you'll ever meet in your life. Like, sometimes we'll go on couple dates and people are back and forth and they're like, where are we going to eat? And I'm like, I don't care. Like, literally take homegirl to the Waffle House. You know what I'm saying? I don't even house. Thank you. Okay. I love anything that you can get a good margarita and some cheese dip. So Mexican restaurants are my jam. I like Chili's. Chili's is great. I'm a very cheap date. Like, I don't care about all that stuff. Like, if we go somewhere and it's like a nicer place, I literally can't tell the difference.
What's your favorite food?
All
is
of
it cheese?
I like anything with cheese in it. I like cream cheese a lot. A lot.
Like cheesecake?
I just got upset how much I like it. It's such a great thing. Cheesecake is the best. Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you a dirty little secret. I think you might get it, you might not, but I'll tell it anyway because this reminded me of this. Back in the day, I was doing some like kind of a keto-esque diet, right? But it was like a high-fat keto type of deal. And this was a while ago. But one of my snacks that I liked was I would take a block of cream cheese and slice it and just eat it. Not the whole block in one sitting, but I'd slice 1 or 2 slices and just eat the cream cheese.
That kind of sounds like heaven. You have a Bloody Mary with that, you're just good to go.
I could, yeah. I don't know if that's on that plan, but yeah. Now who's bringing up the Bloody Mary?
Is it me or is there too many cucumbers in my house?
There's a lot of cucumbers. I don't know. That's like number 6.
I'm sick of cutting this up. I want to cut up a tomato. Look, I just half peeled this and I'm putting it over here. That's what happens when you have ADHD, kids.
Those tomatoes are looking nice, though. I will say that. Now, what are you going to do with all these vegetables? What's your plan?
So what we do is we buy a ton and we cut them all up, we put them in Ziploc bags. We have a salad almost every meal outside of breakfast. So there's always a salad for lunch and dinner with whatever we're having. And then I also have them for just kind of grab snacks. So like I mentioned earlier, we love hummus and salsa. We just snack a lot on this stuff. And also, too, with like the kids, I like putting stuff out sometimes because they eat a lot. They're like the tiniest humans, and they're just like
feed the kids.
Yeah, but they eat so bad, so we're trying to like put out better stuff for them to just grab.
Yeah.
Which luckily they really like all this stuff.
What do you typically have for breakfast?
Well, I'm doing something different now because I'm trying to lose a couple of pounds and get trimmer. I've been doing a lot more weightlifting, and I'm trying to cut, which sucks. Yeah. It's the worst. I hate it. Throw my knife down some more. So what I've been eating lately is anything with high protein in it. So I have eggs, or I have these little Greek yogurt things that are high in protein. I've been trying to eat more intermittent fasting, where I get up about 4, so not eating till 10 or so. And then we normally eat dinner around 5:30.
Gotcha. So are you
dicing? We're old people.
What?
Like, seriously? No. When we're 80, I promise you we'll be going to bed at like 1 p.m.
You'll be eating dinner at noon.
Seriously, though, because we're almost already there.
And not only will you be eating dinner at noon, you'll probably start calling it supper.
My mom does that. She's a real country.
My
She's
mother
always
does
like,
the same.
What are we going to eat for supper?
Yep. My mom does the same thing. That's why I bring that up. And I'm like, I don't even know what supper is. It's dinner.
I know. Oh, yeah. Smoothies. I love, we have a lot of protein smoothies. Brian is, he has a TikTok sponsorship with My Protein.
Nice.
And so he gets let me show you all the protein. Well,
show me the protein.
It's the end of the month, so you can't. But this is just our all that stuff right there. Yeah. And then he normally has these cabinets full. It's the end of the month, so all of this is gone. But normally there's My Protein snack bars all through there. I mean, he's just decked out with all that crap.
Yeah, I do a lot of protein myself. I like it. It's fast. It's convenient.
It's great. It's so good. Yep. So throw some kale or some spinach in with that and some frozen fruit. Have that with almond milk. It's awesome.
I like to put a couple dates or a couple dates in there.
We got some dates. Yeah. Okay, we got some date game.
I like date smoothies. People don't typically think about that when they think of dates. They want to stuff them or, wrap them with prosciutto or whatever. I like to put them in smoothies.
I don't think I've ever. I mean, we've had date. You talking about the smoothie is mostly dates. No, I've never.
I mean, you can put protein in it too. You do some almond milk, some dates, some protein, some spinach. That's good. That's a good drink.
Sounds interesting.
Throw a banana in there.
Okay.
That's a good drink.
This is educational, y'all. This is the reason you need to watch this show, is you get educated.
Dates are very good for you. You eat a couple of dates a day. That's a really good thing. Very high in antioxidants.
I was trying to make a "that's what she said" joke, but none of that makes sense.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Stephanie says hi.
Hi, Stephanie.
It's exciting to watch all the vegetable work. No, the first time I had a date smoothie like that, I was in Vegas, and I was at a conference, and I was going down in the morning, and I may have had one or too many cocktails the night before, so I was looking for something fast to grab, and I went past the protein stand, and I was like, okay, give me the power protein, whatever. And it was like dates, spinach, protein, almond milk, banana. I was like, this changed my morning.
That sounds legit.
Pick me up.
That sounds legit.
And then every day that I was there, I had one in the morning. And then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Delia, how are you, Delia Perry? Do you know Delia?
I do. That's how we're
You do. That's
connected.
how we met. Say hi to Delia. She's watching.
Hi, Delia. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
I did it
Delia is
really
the
high
magic
pitch.
worker that brought us together.
She's a good person.
She is. I love her podcast too, Girls for Greatness.
Have you been on?
I have not been on, but I listen to it.
Why?
Well, I'm not a girl, per se.
I don't like all this stigma Delia has
Yeah.
going on with her show.
Yeah.
There's too much stigma.
Yeah, aren't we supposed? Never mind. We're not going to go there.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
So
Okay, these are not cucumbers.
are those
Zucchini.
zucchini?
This is what's good. Fried zucchini
Oh,
with marinara sauce
yes.
and cheese.
I'm there. I'm all for that. Have you ever had fried zucchini flowers?
No, but I
Oh.
would.
You can stuff them with a little ricotta cheese and then batter them lightly and fry them.
Where do you live?
Good eating. Me, I'm in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's not a bad drive. You should come over and cook for us.
We can. We have a dinner party.
Okay. This is the plan. You drive over here.
Mm-hmm.
You cook for us.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can just drive back home.
Okay, there we go.
That
So I don't
work?
even get to eat any. Do I get a doggy bag?
I mean, no.
Can I get a protein shake? You just
Yeah, you
showed
can
me
do that.
like 18 bags of protein in your cabinet.
Yeah, you can have a protein shake, but you can't eat any of the food because we got children here. We gotta feed them.
Gotta feed the little mouths.
don't-
Fair enough. The
that's
kids
it.
gotta eat first. Delia said stigma schmigma, Heather. She is not phased at all by your comments.
Listen, don't be smack talking me, girl.
So what are we gonna do with the zucchini? Do you eat that raw too?
No, this is always cooked. We just have it sometimes as a carb for dinner or whatever.
Mhm.
If Brian's cooking, he uses it as a side. If I'm cooking it, I'm frying it and dipping it in tomato
You
stuff.
can
'cause
roast
I
it
love
too. It's great grilled. I love it grilled.
I don't think we've ever done that.
Toss in a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of black pepper, a little pinch of salt, a little lemon zest. Throw it right on the grill. Simple, delicious.
Oh, we do that.
Do
He's
the
put it
same
on
thing
the
with
grill before.
asparagus. Yeah.
Asparagus.
Do you like asparagus?
I do, but doesn't it sound so serious?
I like asparagus, but I feel like it's a little overrated at the moment. I feel like everyone is all about the asparagus. Maybe it's just me in the circles that I run in.
What kind of circles you hang in where y'all are talking about asparagus?
Asparagus
I mean, seriously, I don't think
circles.
that's ever come up in a conversation with me.
Like all my
All
friends
my
love asparagus.
circles.
They love asparagus. Hey,
Are you only friends with chefs? Are you like
No.
discriminating like Gully over here? You only have
no, I love everyone.
foodies. So unfoodies, you like unfoodies.
I like unfoodies. I try to turn them
Okay.
into foodies.
What's a foodie? Can we talk about that?
Well,
Does
not
that
turn
mean
them
you
into
know how to
foodies.
cook or you like to eat?
No, foodies just love food in general. It can be cooking, it can be eating, but they just love food. And like for me, I'm the kind of person, if you hung out with me on a regular basis, you would know that
I feel
I'm
like I
always
do.
Yeah, we have been lately, but you're going to realize then as this continues, as our relationship grows, that I'm always all about food. So I'm always like, I'll eat breakfast, and as I'm eating breakfast, I'm thinking, what am I going to have for lunch?
That's not a bad thing.
It's like,
That's a
no,
good
I'm
thing.
always thinking
That's
because
a quality.
I agree. Food is an experience. And it's not like the people that kind of the statement that makes me mad is when people say, "Oh, I don't care about food. I just eat to fuel my body. I just eat so I can do like I have to." It's like your life must be so sad.
They're
Like
lying.
I love eating and I love like going to a restaurant is great. I miss it so much with the whole COVID thing. But
Oh,
it's not
man.
because of the food. And I was explaining this to someone earlier. I was saying, look, being a chef is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because I can make whatever I want whenever I want. It's a curse because I can make whatever I want whenever I want. So it's both a blessing and a curse. So I don't need to go to a restaurant to get a specific type of food. I can just make it at home. But I love going to restaurants because I love the experience.
Right.
I like to go with people, not have to worry about that, still get to eat really good food. Everyone's talking, everyone's having a good time, having some cocktails. That's what's fun. And so
What's your favorite restaurant?
my favorite restaurant, there's a little Italian joint actually in Baltimore in the Inner Harbor. It's a little hole in the wall. And it's some of the best Italian food. The chef comes from Venice. It's called La Tavola. And there's actually
La Tavola.
yeah.
Le
That's the
Table.
means the table. There's
I nailed
actually
that name.
there's actually a really big Italian restaurant across the street from it that gets most of the love. But I discovered the little place, and the little place's food is much better than the big place. So
Mm.
yeah, that's like every year when we go on vacation, and we haven't in a year or so, but when every year my dad's family used to go to Delaware to vacate to the beach there for vacation. And so I would always drive through Baltimore to be able to stop and have dinner there. And it was well worth it every single time.
Why
It's awesome.
Delaware? That's a very random place. Is that where
Well,
family's at?
yeah, well, no, because most of my family's here in the Pittsburgh area, but part of my family's in the center of Pennsylvania in the Altoona area, and Delaware was about the same distance from both places, and it was a quieter, more family-oriented beach than some of the other beaches. And when they started going, this was 30 years ago, myself and my cousins were all very small. So they wanted to go to the family beach with all the kids, so that's why Delaware.
So is the beach there cool?
It's nice. I mean, it's good because as we got older, it was a 10-minute drive from the party beach. So you're at a quiet beach that's really chill, really laid back, nice beach atmosphere, little town, really cute. But then as we got older and became of age that we wanted to go out, we could just get, driven 10 minutes, go to all the bars, bar hop, and then 10 minutes
So there's
back.
a party beach in Delaware,
No, that's in Maryland. That's Ocean City. And it's like a
Maryland.
10-minute drive. Yeah.
You just never hear people be like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna go to Maryland Beach." You know what I
No,
mean?
here you do. Oh, yeah. In the
Really?
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Not in the South.
In this area, there's a lot of people that would vacation in Ocean City, Maryland. That was a big
Really?
place. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hmm. This is why
Ocean
you
City,
talk to
Maryland,
people,
Ocean
y'all.
City,
Y'all
New
learn
Jersey.
things.
Where do the
Oh, I
Southerners
just stabbed myself.
vacation?
Um, Destin, Florida.
Okay.
Well, at least where I'm at right now. Gulf Shores, Alabama. Charleston, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Myrtle
You know how I'm
Beach.
saying all the Myrtle Beach.
Mm-hmm.
That's where all the good times are. Getting a
Mm-hmm.
little more southern. In
Yeah,
fact, we're going to Pensacola next week. I'm excited.
nice. There are people here. Watch those little fingers. She's like reaching up on the board as you're cutting
This is
tomatoes.
just mom life in general. It makes me zero nervous.
It's like making me seeing those little fingers come up. I'm like, oh, but yeah. So there's a lot of people here that do go down to Myrtle Beach. I mean, that's a place too. But a lot of people, if they want to, because from where I am, it's about a 6-hour drive to Maryland, and
Oh, okay.
to Myrtle Beach, it's about a 12-hour drive. So
Okay.
that's the difference.
It's not bad. You're making me hungry and you're making me want to go to the beach.
Yeah, that's like the story of my life: food and dreaming about the beach.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Those
So-
are goals.
We got all of these vegetables that we're cutting. You're gonna have
Mhm.
snacks for like a year after this. You're gonna be making all kinds
You'd be
of stuff.
surprised. This will be gone in a week.
Let's take a minute and talk about your show and what you're doing, because I think people need to hear about Unconventional Leaders.
Well, it's not this fun. We don't do no
It's
cooking.
fun.
Yeah. We've been around. Oh my gosh, she took the tomato bag and she's trying to get it on the floor. Thank you, baby. We've been in production for a little over 3 years, and it's exactly what it sounds like, unconventional leaders. So we talk to people who are doing things outside the box, and making a difference in the world in their own unique way. Because a lot of times people are like, well, I don't have this or that or blah, blah, or, I'm a little bit different than people in this industry. And so where they see that as a disadvantage, we see that as your competitive advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So we tell those stories. It's fun.
I like it. I don't want to say who's your favorite guest, but is there one whose story just like floored you or stood out that was super unconventional as opposed to all the other unconventionals?
I think the one that we're going to be releasing here in a week or two with Sam Jones, I just interviewed him a few days ago. That was such an impactful conversation to have, because I'm a very multifaceted person and I'm very curious, and I've recently started kind of identifying myself more as a creative, even over an entrepreneur, because I just love creative work. Like, people normally talking like how many zeros their business is making. I care, but I don't as much. I really want to create stuff. Like, I love this. I love production. I love art and in the weird way that you and I do it. So getting to speak with him and being reassured that you can be multifaceted, you can have these crazy God out there dreams and ideas, and you can actually make them happen, even without a network, even without resources. In a way that he articulated how you do that was just super impactful for me.
I can't wait to hear that. We'll have to check that one out as soon as it comes. You said it's coming out next week?
I don't know. I got to look at my calendar or something like that.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out for
I
that
don't even know
anyway.
what today
But
is.
I love
Seriously.
that shift. I love that shift that you're making from entrepreneur to more creative. That's how, coming from the chef world, that's what I did first. That to me was a creative outlet. And it was,
Yes.
so I see myself as an artist and a creative as well. I just had to figure out how to not be the starving artist, right? Because you hear that label a lot, where people put everything they have into what they're creating, artistically or creatively, and then the money is typically something that comes later, or something that you don't really
Yep.
think about, because your fulfillment comes from creation. And
Yep.
I had that. I was there, and I had to like recircle the wagons a couple times and be like, this is all well and good, but I need to finance this somehow, and I need to figure out how to drive
Yeah.
revenue, and that's what I had to do.
And that's really hard, because then you get to a point where you're almost spending so much time in your business, and then you get caught up. I don't know about you, but for me, the entrepreneurial world is very competitive and very kind of shiny object, and it's very easy to get caught up in that and wanting to scale this and do this and grow this, and that's great if that's your long-term goal. But I told my husband the other day, I said, I can be making this god awful amount of money doing this and working 15 hours a week, which everybody seems like they're so obsessed with. And I would be absolutely miserable if I wasn't creating the kind of show, the kind of art, for lack of better terms, that I want to create. Like, I literally don't think about the business stuff as much. Like, I've created a business to give me time and flexibility to produce the kind of work that I want to produce, period. Not the other way around.
I get it. You're preaching to the choir. I mean, it makes total sense to me. And that's something that I think people like us, we have to figure out and battle until we get to the point where the art provides the revenue, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
and that takes time. It takes time. It takes consistency, and it takes effort. But it's definitely very possible and very plausible if you focus and continue down that path.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, like, I take acting classes and all that, and I'm around a whole bunch of just people who are trying to make it in that world. And they're all working. I mean, they're 30 years old and working, waiters and waitressing jobs and side gigs and all this stuff that they don't necessarily love, but that's what they do for their art, because they know that's what it's going to take. And I think too is that creative business owners, we need to be serious about our business, but also to keep the number one thing, and remember why you're doing what you're doing, because otherwise you can get caught up in, like, I want to be this coach and I want to be number one consultant here and all of that. And then you're just producing complete crap that's inauthentic to you because you're trying to get leads. And I'm not saying any of that's wrong, but I'm speaking to creative kind of entrepreneurs. I have to check myself on that a lot,
Well, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and just being straight up, because, like, for instance, this show that we're doing right now, this is just I think this is fun. That's why we're doing it. It serves. I want it to serve you, because I want you to talk about what you do in your show and all of those things, so that people get to know who you are and what value you bring. I think that's super important. But actually, just doing this with you, to me, is fun. So I mean, I'm not like, I didn't come into this going, oh, I get to do the show with Heather today. I wonder how much money I can make from this, because I have no idea, how we would even do that. This is just, how can we provide value, have a good time doing it, and whatever comes of it comes of it. But
I think, and the irony of it is, the more you put into that and explore that and give yourself freedom to do it without expectation, the irony is that more often than not, something will yield from that. When we plan everything over here, that's usually not the stuff that takes off. Normally it's the fun, creative stuff that we let go of that turns into something.
And I think the other thing is, if those results are your sole focus, and you're really trying to do that, a lot of people get to the point where it's almost like they're bashing their head against the wall. Because they have this outcome that they get stuck to, and it's the way they want it, and they won't accept anything else. And maybe that's not the way it's supposed to be, but you don't give yourself the latitude to explore to figure that
Yep.
out.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I mean, I talk about it a lot, but 10 years ago, I didn't even know what we're doing right now was a thing. I didn't even know you could do something like this. And I thought I would be opening more restaurants right now, building a restaurant empire. I didn't know that we would be doing this, but because I was open to the possibilities and did that exploration that we're talking about, I'm infinitely more fulfilled doing this than I would be still as a restaurateur in the restaurant space. Don't get me wrong, I love that space and I love food, and that's why we're doing this today too. I love watching you cut vegetables. But I wish I
Are
could
you
snack on
sure?
some. I wish I could snack on some while you're cut. That's the only drawback of the show is the fact that I get to see people make great food or, meal prepping and whatever, and I can't try any because I'm way over here.
So why don't you start cooking with the people? You could give us lessons.
We could.
Yeah, like you could, that little flour thing you were talking about. Like, teach me how to make that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, here's the end result. All, if you can believe it.
Nope. I lost your video. Where'd you go? Okay. Heather checked out for just a minute. She'll be right back after these messages. We're just going to hang out here until she turns her camera back on. But I'm having a great time, having a blast. Talk to Here we go. She's coming back right now. Let's see if I can get her back. Are you back? Let's do this. I'm not getting your audio yet. Can you turn your microphone on, Heather? This is the magic of live stream. So we can still see you. You're still there. We just can't hear you. Let's see. She's coming back, I promise. So don't go anywhere. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me. We can't hear you. So I'm pointing and talking. This is the magic of live streaming. But she was trying to show us her vegetables that she had there. She had a whole thing. She cut tomatoes, cucumbers, celery, zucchini, and this is how her family meal preps. So, can you hear me? How about now? We're just waiting for Heather to get her audio back. But yeah, so she cut all those different vegetables. And we were talking about some really cool stuff, specifically about being a creative and being a creative in the entrepreneurial space, and how when you go towards your creativity and you go towards the things that draw you, that pull you, most often that's what translates into the things that become the most powerful. A lot of people, they can build a business from the ground up, but if you want to build it with fulfillment, you should start with fulfillment and then build on that. So, Heather, how's the audio coming? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I'm trying to use sign language to get her back on, and we're going to see if she can join from her computer. But I think that's a super valuable conversation. Here we go. I think Heather's back. Let me see. Now I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You're very, very quiet, but we can hear you.
Hello.
There we go.
Forgive me.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
I was just filling the blank space as we waited for you, talking about how I think our conversation that we just had was super powerful. The one about going towards what you're creatively drawn to and then figuring out, because the money side of things you can always figure out.
Oh my
But if
gosh,
you
there's so many
start with
different ways to
money,
make money.
yeah, if you start with the money and you hate it, then you're in a place where you're like, well, now what?
Well, think about it. Are you creating for yourself another job that you hate? Because you can be self-employed and still be an employee, hating your work. And I've been in that place where I'm like, okay, this isn't what I signed up to do. This isn't what I'm wanting. You can be creative with craft, but just don't put it to, you escape something. Don't replace it with something else that you hate.
Yeah. And the funny thing was, I had a conversation with someone on my podcast a couple of weeks ago, and this was a person who left corporate to become an entrepreneur, built a 7-figure business as an entrepreneur, and then realized she wasn't happy. So
Mm-hmm.
then had to pivot from a 7-figure business to doing something else. And she's back to 6 figures now. But the point is, that can happen. It
Yep.
can happen to where you build something that's successful, even by all from outside perspective or monetarily, and you're like, now, and how much harder is it to let that go once you have, like, if you're not making any money, it's easy to stop and move on to something else, right? But
Yep.
if you're making 7 figures and you're like, this is sucks, I want to do
I can't
something else,
imagine.
that's
I
hard.
can't imagine. Yeah.
And you don't hear that story a lot. That's why I was so interested in that story. You hear the story of everyone leaving their corporate job to start the venture, which is cool. But what about the
Mm-hmm.
person that starts the venture that all of a sudden isn't happy with the venture?
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, because that can happen. It's not like something that never happens. But
Yeah.
so that's why I think too, to your point, going where you feel pulled, knowing what fills you up, being creative, that's something that I don't think you should just brush to the side, because
Nope.
there are things, I'm sure for both of us, there are things we could be doing right now and just making money, focusing
Oh
on that,
my gosh,
making
yes.
way more money.
Yes. Yes. I've had lots of very appealing offers for different stuff. But you have to be in integrity to what your soul says. Because this is the thing. Not all of us want to do this crazy ass stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you are like, if this appeals to you at all, this whole creative work and, doing your own thing and building something from nothing, you are a rare breed, Jack. Like, this is not something that most people want to do. So I think we need to really pay attention to our natural urges and pulls. And like what Sam Jones said the other day, is trust it, because not everyone has that. And there's not a good, bad, it's not equal, or what. It's not a comparison thing. It's just, are you in integrity with what you feel called to do? Period.
I love that. Integrity is such a big thing. And I think that we all think about integrity and we think about how integrity shows up with other people, but we a lot of times don't look at integrity with ourselves. And I was talking to someone earlier today who made a great point, and who said he's very cognizant of hitting snooze in the morning, because he realizes if he hits snooze, that's the first promise he broke to himself that
Yep.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Because you set that alarm with the intention to get up at that time. And if you
Yeah.
hit snooze, you don't get up at that time. And subconsciously, that does something to you over time. If you're not keeping your promises to yourself, how can you be in true integrity, even if you show up for everyone else?
That's it, man.
This is fun. So tell me really quickly before we sign off, you got all those veggies. We saw you cutting them. We saw you loving them. We saw your family loving them too. What are you going to do? You're making a salad. What are you
Mm-hmm.
going to do? Like, what kind of dressing do you use? What kind of lettuce do you use?
We don't use dressing.
Okay.
We use red wine vinegar and olive oil with spices, salt, pepper, all that stuff.
That's a
No
dressing. That's a vinaigrette.
A vinaigrette.
There you go. That's the technical word for it.
Yeah.
But okay, so you throw all those veggies on. Do you do some type of protein usually? Do you do chicken, shrimp,
Mhm.
steak?
We're for the most part chicken, turkey, and fish. We don't eat
Nice.
any red meat.
Okay. You eat no red meat.
None. I haven't had bacon, sausage in years. I
How
can't
do
even
you
remember like.
Well, that aside, how do you live? And I'm seriously interested with this. I'm not like downplaying it, like that's great, you can do that, but I need to know, how do you live without every once in a while having a burger?
I mean, we have burgers. We have like turkey burgers and
Okay.
stuff. I mean, like I'll eat a burger like if I go to somewhere and they're like a cookout or something. So I'll eat that, but it's
Okay.
just very rare.
I was gonna say, man, like I don't eat burgers every day, but like every
They're
couple,
good.
yeah, I'm like, man,
They're
I
good.
need there to me, there's something so sexy, and I'll use that word here because it is
Okay.
about like a, a
No
medium rare,
judgment.
burger that you make, and there's like cheese on it, and you have bacon, and I like ketchup and lettuce and tomato and a
Yeah.
little thin slice of onion. That's like, I'm just so happy with that.
I mean, like I was saying, it's good. It's just
It's good.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
that can
I
change
would
your
probably
life.
eat differently if I wasn't married to who I'm married to. Like he's next level. So
So you have to blame him. It's
Yeah.
okay. You can. I mean, he's your husband. You can say it.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, but in any case, thank you for doing everything today with us. I had so much fun with you. I love
blast.
talking about being creative and that type of thing. And I'm now hungry for vegetables and a Bloody Mary. So
I
you
highly
did
doubt
that
that.
too.
Vegetables do not sound good.
No, my puppy will love it because he loves baby carrots. So if I go pull out the
Aw,
carrots,
that's
he's a
cute.
happy camper.
That's
So
cute.
Heather Parady, thank you so much for being here. HeatherParady.com is where people can find you, and also subscribe to the Unconventional Leaders podcast. Is there anything else you want? I'll give you the last word. Anything else you want to talk about before we go?
Yeah, connect with Mario. Subscribe to his stuff. Leave him ratings, reviews, share his stuff. Putting out content is a lot of hard work. So the fact that he puts out as much as he does shows how much he loves and cares about you guys. So make sure you support him.
Thank you. Love
Yeah.
you, Heather. Appreciate it. We will talk again real soon. Everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this segment, Cooking and Conversation. Don't forget, you can get it on the podcast, all the different social channels. We'll be releasing all kinds of cool stuff. Go follow Heather, check out her site, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, everyone.